All right, hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another Patch Notes. So, today is a very special and unique day, and for multiple reasons I will now go over. Number one, and I guess the most important reason to me, what's on the palette. Today's palette includes what used to be a frozen Marino's ice cup of watermelon. Now there's like 10% of it left because I ate most of it and the rest melted. But anyway, the reason I'm eating this ice cup is because I ate Chipotle today and Chipotle fills me up. But the other good thing is I'm done and caught up with a lot of my work, and that means I have a lot more time on my hands with the big break coming up too for school for the 2 weeks. And what does that mean for my stream or my YouTube? Absolutely nothing, because I'm still going to play games that I can't stream. But I just thought I'd put it out there because I like it and I'm happy. Well, relatively speaking. But anyway, some more news. There's some more important stuff to mention. This patch, 9.19, is the World's Patch. Good grief! We're finally here. It's the World's Patch. Yes. Yes, it is. So, what does this mean? World patches generally are favored for worlds. No big changes whatsoever. Changes to just clarity, conciseness, and changes that Riot thinks are going to make worlds better for the viewer. So basically stuff that doesn't matter at all to the average player, and stuff that only matters to the pros, and even then no big changes, because the pros don't have time to learn anything new. So let's see what they say first of all. We've been making steady changes throughout the last few patches to not completely throw everything into flux, yep, and have the pros invalidate whatever playbooks they've been developing, exactly what I said. More than completely neutralizing top priority picks we've been working. Okay, yeah, so what I said. Alright. So the new skins. Valiant Sword Riven is extremely sexy. I'm sad she got a prestige edition though, that's gay. This skin, I haven't seen the effects or anything, but from the screenshots I've seen, it looks cool. Hextech Amumu, no one wanted this skin. I still think no one wants it except the Amumu main, and even then it's not that good of a skin. I like the lore they're doing with it though. Splendid Staff Nami is a very nice skin from what I've seen, and Championship Rise, another Rise skin lol. Alright. Going to Champions. Wiggletrox. What I think of Wiggletrox, he's absolutely fucking shite in regular play and pro play. He's still useful, I guess, even though the guy who only picked Aatrox on TSM, I forgot his dumbass name, but he just kept picking it and kept losing. So, again, I don't know. I think Aatrox kind of sucks dick now, and he has no identity that's separate from Riven, except he heals more. But, what are they doing? They're making it so he can push a little harder. Again, this change doesn't matter. Akali. I think Akali is in a decently good spot. I still honestly think she's strong. I think she's strong, but I think that's okay. We can have some strong people. She's not OP, because she's been definitely hit by the Nerf whip a couple times on her extremely muscular and sexy back. But I think for you to put in the time to master Akali, what you get out of it is very good. I think that's good. Now Riot thinks they over-nerfed her. That's ironic. I think she's actually in a decent spot, if anything. Can use maybe a slight buff, which is what they're doing, I guess. How slight is it? 195, 255. Okay, so they're making her early game a little bit better. They want her to be played in Worlds, because Akali is a playmaker. If Akali pops off, it's really fun to watch. And they want people who are fun to watch in Worlds. So, Akali's one of them. And speaking about fun people to watch, Annie. You would love to see an Annie play in Worlds where Annie just flash stuns 5 people and then the team just rapes. People in the crowd be like, oh shit. That's what people in the crowd are going to be like if that happens. But, yeah, so they're buffing Annie, I'm assuming, because Annie's ass. E movement speed increased. I forgot you got E movement speed. That's so stupid. 25 to 50, 30 to 60. That's crazy. Yeah, so they're really trying to speed up Annie's just playmaking ability because they took a lot of her damage out from her old kit, which I agree with. Take something out and give something else. If it's not damage, utility, and Annie's getting utility. I don't think Annie's necessarily that bad anymore. It's just the whole premise of old Annie was like, hey, I'm gonna one-shot you. Fucking Christ, I'm doing patch sets. I want to play with Hairline too, but let me tell him. Fuck, let me put my watermelon icy down. Ah, fuck. Patch notes. Rigger boy. Okay, anyway. So yeah, I think Annie, this makes her fine, and again, maybe she'll be picked in Worlds. Ashe, I honestly have no clue why they're picking Ashe. The only thing that Ashe is worth watching for is her late game, which honestly takes too long to get to and probably will never get to in Worlds unless it's like a really juicy game. And even then, why would you play fucking Ashe? Yeah, facts, the Talia changes. But, yeah, why would you play Ashe aside from the arrow? The ulti is the only reason people will pick Ashe in Worlds is... the only reason why I would think Riot would touch her is the ulti. Because that's, like, the main playmaking ability. If you land a max, like, stun... Ew. If you land a max stun arrow on someone in Worlds, people are going to be like, oh, shit, let me spend more money on this game. And Riot likes that. So what are they doing? I think Ashe is weak. I think she definitely needs buffs. So what are they doing? Passive slow increased. Hello? 20 to 30%. Holy shit. So they're increasing her utility. Okay. When they want to run down opponents in the early game. If you want to run down an opponent in the early game, you're going to pick Draven, not this retard bitch. In addition, we're returning the full auto What? Wow. Wait, that's actually really good that they're resetting the Q as an auto reset. Or they're re-putting it back. Holy fuck. It's not that big a change, honestly, but it's fucking... It's gonna be feeling real nice for the Ashe mains. Hold on, I gotta send Vishal a picture. Okay, there we go. He keeps fucking annoying me. Okay, anyway. So, I'm glad they actually buffed this. I'm really glad they did that. Blitzcrank. He is one of the prime people I want to see in Worlds. I want to see Blitzcrank. Blitzcrank's hook, I still believe, is one of the best hooks. It's just he's such an ass character. And he started becoming an ass character once they fucked his W. For those of you who don't know, Blitzcrank's W is the movement speed. Fucking... Like, he runs and goes really fast. And that used to not slow you. You heard me correctly. Blitzcrank's W used to be, if it's a skill that's up, you use it. Now it's a skill that if it's up, you choose when to use it if the situation needs it. But old Blitzcrank's W was so good. There was literally no downside to it aside from the cooldown. So you just used it to go fast. And honestly, that, along with Blitzcrank's Q, the E is fucking ass except if you have Yasuo. His E does not matter. And it's more for troll purposes if you build AD Blitzcrank. But the E does not matter. The R is fucking stupid except for the silence. It doesn't do good enough damage after 12 minutes in the game. Like, it doesn't matter. Unless you're KSing or trolling with full AP. So, like, in a real scenario, Blitz's only good things about his kit were his Q and his W. Now, it's literally just the Q. It is the best grab in the game, though. And the fact that they're buffing him means they want the best grab in the game to be used. Which I agree with. They're even buffing the range. Holy shit. They're buffing Blitz's Q range. What? Let me see what they say about this. Blitzcrank is the hook. I love that. He is the hook. And should always be, even as we release other champions who just happen to have shittier hooks in their abilities. And his passive stacks on his ult to gain up. Okay, this is a huge, crazy buff. Again, this is going to increase playmaking by a lot. I hope we see Blitzcrank. He's so fun to watch. The R has no relevance. Fiora, what do I think of Fiora? I think if anything, she's gonna get buffs. She's a little weak. What Akali is now is what I'd like to see Irelia, or not Irelia, fuck. Fiora. What Akali is now is what I would like to see Fiora become. To me, if you put like Fiora and Akali are the outplay champions. If you know how to play those champions, you can outplay your opponent like that, style on them, and get fed and carry. I think these two champions are very good in the right hands. However, I don't think if you were to put time into Akali, learn Akali, I feel like you do a lot more than you would with Fiora. Like honestly, I don't know why too, because Fiora to me just kit wise seems like she could do more. She can heal, she can sustain, she could do true damage, and she could block CC and stun you for it. But for some reason, I see Akali as the bigger threat than Fiora. I don't know if Fiora's just weak number-wise or what happened, but I feel like if I had a Fiora main and an Akali main, I'd want the Akali main instead. Because the Akali main could just cleave through people and be relatively safe, where Fiora can kind of do that, but just not as good. I don't know. Let's see what they're doing. They better be buffing her. Her Q can now hit turrets and wards, prioritize champion vitals, ultimate targets, champs, dying minions, turrets, and wards. Okay, so wards are literally on the lowest point, which at that point, if you have a ward and there's nothing else around it, she'll hit it. But if there's anything else, she's not hitting the ward, which I agree with. That's fine. But when does it hit the turret? Okay, so the turret is after the dying minion. Okay. That's pretty good. I mean, it increases her pushing, I guess. And E, if the second basic attack can now deal bonus damage to theirs. So they want to see Fiora in Worlds, definitely. I think the main problem with Fiora that they're hitting here is her pushing power. They want to increase her tower taking potential, so she could be a split pusher, because generally Fiora was known as the 1v1 duelist champion in both lore-wise and gameplay-wise. Her whole shtick is, I want the challenge. And then she fights you one-on-one, and she always is supposed to win, because that's her whole thematic. And now they're trying to get that to where, like, okay, hey guys, I see Fiora at the turret. Should I go stop her? No, because you'll die. And you better send someone quick, because Fiora's going to take it quicker now. That's my logic behind it. Hopefully that's Riot's too. I think this is a good change, honestly. They're not inherently giving Fiora herself more power, which is ironically what I think she needs a little bit of. But this is fine. Again, they're compromising. I like what the direction Riot is going. They're compromising, which is good. I think this is good. Fat ass fuck. He's another one of the fucking really popular playmakers for Worlds. So they're buffing him. They're most likely just buffing him. Gragas has been dominating the pro meta for a while, so we're nerfing him. Wow. The cooldown's up by 1 second. That does not matter. The ratio's down by 1%. This does not matter. Next. Graves. Base attack. Okay, Graves is a weird one. I definitely do think Graves is really on the weaker side, depending on what you compare him to. Like, at this point, why do you want Graves? If you're gonna pick Graves, pick Nocturne. Nocturne has as much, I think, kill pressure as Graves, or Xin Zhao as well. Xin Zhao and Nocturne to me are similar to Graves in that, like, they're assassin-y, early game, try and kill you types, but Nocturne and Xin Zhao are just better. Xin Zhao because of his ult, Nocturne because of his ult, and Nocturne has a spell shield. But, like, they just bring more to the table. Graves is a very simple champion. I'm gonna do damage, auto you, and kill. But they nerf that so heavily that, like, other people do it as well as him and bring more things to the table. So I'm pretty sure we're gonna see buffs. But I don't know why they'd want to see him in Worlds. He's kind of not that exciting to me. But whatever. I mean, he's a carry. Maybe they like buffing carries, but let's see. Excuse me. We're giving Graves some more reliable power via his basic attack. No, his base attack damage. So he feels generally stronger at all points of the game, running out some of his other stats. 66 to 68, 555 to... This does nothing. Donger! Yo, if we see Donger at World, I'm gonna be so happy. Donger is so funny to watch. He's such a stupid champion who used to be so good, and right now I feel so ass unless he's in the hands of a master. a big-brained donger master. So they're probably going to buff him because he's so fucking bad. Buffing Heimerdinger all around says he's on the weaker side. Yep. 35 base attack ratio. Oh, for the basic attack of the turret. Okay. I mean, this realistically does nothing. Stun duration went up by 0.25. That's decent. And the basic attack of his, bigger turret, that's whatever. It's fine. Karma. Okay, I hope we see fucking Karma nerfs. I do not want to see her in Worlds. She's so boring to watch, and she's useless. Nerfing Karma's non-support damage so she isn't so strong as a blind pick generalist. Thank the Lord. I hate this champion. I hate watching this champion. This champion does nothing but shield and poke. If you want that, pick Janna. Janna's better. Fucking hate this champion. Well, sorry, Michelle, you have to wait now. Okay, Mordekaiser. W shield from damage dealt increased. Spectators can now see champions in the... Okay, this is what I'm talking about. The W has no relevance. The R is the big thing. The R, that you can now see it, like spectators can see it, is exactly for Worlds. They literally just did this straight for Worlds. They just want people to see. And Mordekaiser's fun to watch. I think Mordekaiser's mad fun. He has a giant club he just smacks you over the head with. People love mindless violence like that, so they love Mordekaiser, and they want to see Mordekaiser 1v1 a person in the Death Realm. My question is, how the fuck are they going to differentiate that? How would you know when he ults unless there's like some effect? I'm curious to see that. I want someone to pick Mordekaiser. I don't think Mordekaiser is necessarily that good enough to be picked in Worlds after like... Or just how he is as a champion, but we might see Mordekaiser here and there. I hope we see him. He's fun. Okay, Orianna, one of the biggest mid lane playmakers. She's tough. She's like kind of a mechanically tough champion, but like I think she's very fun to watch in the hands of a good person, and she generally is very strong. If you're a good Orianna, there's not much you lose to, honestly, because the ball keeps you safe and keeps enemies at bay. I think she's just weak to like all ins, but at that point, what mage isn't? Like, that's just the nature of the mage. If they can't one-shot you and you provide either an assassin type damage or a constant damage, you just lose. So I really like that they're buffing Ori. We are definitely gonna hopefully see Ori with this. This is a big buff. 150 to 200, and they increase the fucking ratio. I'm excited. Ornn is a big playmaker as well, especially with his ulti and just what he brings to the table, especially with his ulti and his passive. They probably want to see him. You're gonna wait, bitch. We're probably gonna see him in Worlds, and they really want to make sure of it, so they're gonna make the upgrade at level 12. So they know usually games in Worlds don't last that long. So most likely, they're trying to play towards the early game. They want more people to be able to be picked because they know early game is where it's at. So they're buffing Ornn this way. I think this is actually one of the changes that makes Ornn and the Ornn players happy for like normal, non-professional play. Like regular ranked, I think this is good for him, and I like this change. Pantheon. I don't give a shit what they do to this character. This character's ass. Magic resist went down, so he's weaker to magic. Great. What about his W? 150, 135 to 165 over 3 hits. This does nothing. Pantheon's useless. I hope we don't see him. He's bad. If we see him, that team should lose. Unless they have like an insanely strong early snowbally game that they can win in 20 minutes. But anyway, Rek'Sai. I think Rek'Sai is also ass. I don't think we should ever see her. I think she's mad fucking boring. I think she basically does nothing besides knock up. There's better assassins out there. They're just buffing her armor, and her Q works on turrets. This does nothing. The armor is nice, especially for regular play Rek'Sai players. Armor in the early game is very strong. Like, if you go from 30 armor to 50 armor, that's a big difference. Rather, if you go from 300 to 400. 30 to 50 will have more relevance than 300 to 400 just because of the way the math and the percentages work. The more armor you have, the less value it has. Riven, wow. I honestly would love to see Riven at Worlds, but I think she's underpowered. I think she should be getting buffed. Or do something to differentiate her from fucking Aatrox. Because at this point, if you're going to play Riven, play Aatrox. He'll last longer. He might not do as much damage, but he'll last longer and he's better for the team fight. Because almost everything he has on his kit is like a CC. While Riven's is almost like that, just less. Like, all of Aatrox's Qs could be a knock-up. His W, a pull. The E and the ult are nothing, but same thing for Riven. The E and the ult for Riven are nothing. But Riven only has the knock-up at the end of her Q and a stun on her W that's like wiener-ass range. So Aatrox technically has more, but they're increasing the cooldown of Q, so they're nerfing Q, and they're decreasing the cooldown of E. Wait, Riven with cooldown reduction is going to be nuts laking with you. She's going to be so fucking mobile and, like, protected. Holy fuck. Wow. This is fine. This actually makes Riven kind of scary. The fact that her E base max level is 8 seconds. 40 to 45% cooldown on that is going to be like a 5-second E dash, which by the time you get your Q combo and stun combo off, you're just going to have it back up. And the shield is hefty on the E. Don't get me wrong, the shield is hefty. So, we probably won't see Riven, but I think this change helps regular Riven players, aka Box. Sedge just has to get nerfed. There's no way they're not going to nerf her because she's one of the go-to tanks, similar to, what's his fucking face we talked about before? That was a jungler. Gragas, apparently. Wait, did they nerf Gragas? I forgot. Yeah, they did. Okay, but it didn't matter. So they probably still want to see Sedge because Sedge is a playmaker. I'm almost again, I haven't looked at it. I'm looking away, but I'm almost positive they're gonna nerf her. But they still want her to be played because she's a playmaker. Okay, so her damage is very high. Yeah, bullshit it is. We're nerfing her dueling power in the mid game. 10, 15, 20. That's actually a hefty ass nerf. That's actually crazy. They're cutting her damage her damage by half in the later game, which at that point it doesn't matter actually, but I mean it's still bad to lose out damage, especially max health damage, but I still think Sejuani will be used. Sejuani's not really there for the damage, she's there for the setup and the tankiness, because she's tanky as fuck with her passive. But anyway, Sion. Sion is like the person you play in top lane if you're bad. If you're bad and your team doesn't trust you, you play Sion. I'm assuming we're going to see buffs because he's kind of weak. Base shield up by 20. This does nothing. Silas, the fucking problem child now. Oh my god, this guy's getting changed all the fucking damn time. Holy fuck. So, Silas. Silas is basically a permanent pick because of his, I think, ulti and wave clear. They nerfed his wave clear and it was so complained about and he was so bad. They had to give it back, but like in a weird way where like you have to implement the passive. I don't know, it's so weird. I don't know how Silas was when he came out. I only know how he is now because I played him like twice. And I didn't like him because he was so fucking like complicated a little bit. But I still think it's purely because of like the ult and the fact that he heals when low. He's like a semi-tank mage that provides consistent damage and catch out with an ultimate that could be whatever you fucking want it to be. Like if the enemy team is good, Silas is good. So it's like, it's so weird. But they're definitely nerfing him for sure. What do they do? I want to assess his main strength lies in his generalist kit and high OE. Okay. And his very reliable passive. Okay. Yeah, no fail situation. He was omnipresent, okay, whatever. We're nerfing him. His armor's going down, so he's more squishy. That's fine. His armor growth went down. That's actually a little crazy. And his passive is... Wait. Wait. Oh, shit. Oh, oh. So they're really nerfing his wave clear. Holy shit. Yeah, the passive isn't supposed to be wave clearing as much now. I still think he'll be picked. But I don't know. I actually don't know. Because one of the most important things in the world is wave clearing, shoving, and going to other lanes and helping other lanes. Yeah, it's alright if you can win your lane, but the biggest thing in the world is like roaming around the map and having presence. So they hurt Silas's presence. By how much, I honestly can't tell you. I don't know. But if it's a lot, maybe Silas actually won't get picked. If it's a little, then he'll probably still get picked. Tommy Boy. E, gray health, now scales. Wow, early game Tom is ass, but I guess it's supposed to be like that because it's the heal. You don't really take Tom for the heal, you take him for the E. Like the active. And to save your AD. He's already nerfed enough. I honestly don't even think he needs this. But technically, it is a buff. So I'm going to say it's okay. This is whatever. TF. TF is another playmaker. And he hasn't been touched in God knows how long. So we're probably going to see a buff. Because if they haven't touched him, that means he hasn't been a problem. And if he's not a problem, that means he's not being played. So buffing TF in a way, he's better. And we can see him in Worlds do a magic fucking ulti. And the crowd goes, yeah, let me spend money. Attack speed on the E is actually going up by a significant amount. That's pretty good. Base damage, 55 says. Wow. ADTF is actually looking pretty nice. People might go ADTF, ironically. Because AD is kind of in an ass state right now, but... And speaking of AD, we have Vayne. Vayne is getting... Wait a minute. They're buffing Vayne's late game. The thing that's already good... At this point, they're extenuating... I don't know if that's the right word, but they're extenuating Vayne's strength and her weakness. Vayne's weakness is the early game. Vayne just gets shitted on. And that's why she's not played, because you're going to get shitted on in the early game oriented, games at Worlds. But if you could get to late with Vayne, there's almost no other AD that can match her. She can shred any tank, has a Draven-like passive on her Q. Or a Draven-like Q on her Q. And she gains a shit ton of AD from her ulti. Like, Vayne, I think, is one of the best ADs late game. Like, when I think of late game ADs that are fucking scary and terrifying, Vayne, because of her just straight damage, I think, honestly, there's no one as scary, damage-wise, as Vayne late game. Kai'Sa's decent late. Jinx. Jinx is scary as fuck late, because she has so much range. Kog'Maw is scary as fuck late because of his damage. But... like, at a certain point, I can't say which one's better, Vayne or Kog'Maw. I would say both are equal. I would say Vayne's better in 1v1s. Like, in a 1v1, Kog'Maw would get annihilated by Vayne. But in a team fight, I think Kog might do better. Because he has more range, and he can shred, I think, as hard as her. If it's, the right patch and the right build. But, yeah, buffing Vayne's late game, but not doing anything to her early, I don't think she'll be played. The thing you're getting late, the waiting thing, or not the waiting thing, the fucking, use your words, Chris, come on. The fantasy you're waiting for probably will never come in the Worlds games because of her early game. But I like this. This is good. Any buffs to Vayne's are good. She's kind of weak. But extremely terrible late. We're actually seeing Veigar changes? What? What are they doing? I honestly don't know what state Veigar's in. I would say Veigar's in a bad state. Back in the day before he got reworked, he was broken. And I thoroughly stand by that he was broken. And Riot agreed with me and they reworked him to make him worse. But, or not worse, different but nerfed. So what are they doing? Despite Veigar's scaling nature, which is insane, his contributions to teamfights struggle to keep pace with what's necessary in the late game. Which we don't really get to, but okay. They're taking 2 seconds off the okay, this is actually extremely good. It doesn't seem extremely good, it seems like okay, but this is an extremely good buff for the pure fact that Vhagar not only gains AP off of, hitting the E stun. Vhagar's E is such an ability where if you don't hit the stun, you still pressure 99% of the people. Because there's 1% of people in League, there's 1% champions that could get out of the E. People with teleport movement abilities, like Ezreal's E, Fizz's E, I believe. And who else? I don't know if there's anyone else who could get out of it. Shaco Q. Besides that, any other person will have to flash out of Vhagar's E. Any dash hit by the wall will get stunned. So, Vhagar's ability is a unique one where if you put it down, you've technically confined a champion in a certain space where they can't get out of unless they have to waste something. If you stun them, great. If you don't stun them, you still have done something. And he gets cooldown anyway. And Vhagar's E is the biggest AoE stun ability cooldown that there is aside from Ash Arrow. His stun late game is 2.5 seconds. If you hit someone with the E late game, it's 2.5 seconds stun. That's actually insane. It's actually fucking crazy. But anyway. Good buff. Very good buff. Ching Ching. I hope we see Vhagar at Worlds. Holy shit. Ching Ching. They're going to buff him because he's an early game champion. The premier early game champion, in my opinion. So I'm assuming we're going to see damage buffs. And something to his early game. Base heal. Okay, so he heals a little bit more. Nothing to write home about. The base damage on his Q is going up late, but this means nothing. Xin Zhao isn't a late game champion. I don't know why they're trying to make him out to be one. This does nothing. Yuumi is boring to watch, so they're probably going to nerf her because they don't want to see her. The slow got absolutely fucking gutted. I don't think I've seen a gutting this hard for a while. An 80% slow late game to 20% in all ranks. That's fucking terrible. And then it just lasts for 1 second. It no longer delays, but like, my god, this is so bad. This is so fucking bad. I don't think we'll see Yuumi. Unless... Okay, I mean, this is just doing her slow, so actually it's not that big a deal. Looking at it alone, yeah, this thing got gutted. But, like, it's a slow. It's a slow at the end of the day. On one person. So it's like... It doesn't really matter. It doesn't change why Yuumi is picked, which is her safety and her poke. And her decently good ulti, but, like... This is crazy. This is fucking crazy. And I personally hope we don't see Yuumi. Yumi's so fucking boring to watch. But she's very hard to play against. She's an annoying fucker. She's annoying to play against and annoying to watch, in my opinion. Zac. Zac is a playmaker. Zac is definitely a fucking playmaker. They're making it so he could be living a little bit more in the team fights. This is good. I think Zac is a little weak. This is fine. Items. No item changes. That's actually crazy. Except they're just renaming shit by taking out the. Okay, thank you, Riot. Bugs no one cares about, and upcoming skins I talked about, and Chroma is lovely. You know what? I'm gonna be honest. A lot of the stuff in this patch I think was decent / indifferent. Decent / indifferent. Aside from those two things, I don't think there was necessarily a bad change. I'm actually going to give this patch 7.5 Marc Merrills out of 10. This patch was not bad. It's not exciting, but like it's a normal patch that did good things. And it actually helped somewhat a lot of the champion, well not a lot, but some of the champions in normal play, ironically enough. When they're trying to balance for pro play. Excuse me. But anyway, yeah, I'm leaving it at that. 7.5 Marc Merrills out of 10. I'm ready for Worlds. Hopefully NA wins. Let's go NA. Bye.